Yay! The problem has been solved. So, my name is Kool-Aid, and we're here to talk about racial profiling, but I also brought my friends along. This is...
Hi, my name is Twin Chan.
I'm Lydia.
And we're here to talk about racial profiling. First off, does anyone know what racial profiling means? Someone? Well, I'll show you the definition.
What are you?
Oh, well, what's your...
It's when you just make assumptions about somebody because of their race or something.
Good.
What's
And
your
here,
name? What's your name?
David.
you have a David in our school. He's smart too. But this is the actual definition from the website, from dictionary.org. Racial profiling is the use of an individual race or ethnicity as a key factor in deciding whether to engage in enforcement. So basically what that means, what he just said, using someone's race or ethnicity to use it against them. Like, for example, that little teaser that we did, because supposedly black people always steal, and then she thought that since I was black, I stole her phone, when in reality, I didn't steal her phone. I mean, I do that occasionally, but not today. Anyway, we have a mini activity going on that my partner Twin is going to explain.
So we're gonna show you guys two pictures, and we're gonna ask you guys a question. So
This first picture, we're going to ask you who is illegal. We have two Mexicans photos. So I want you guys to decide. Do you think this dude is illegal? Raise your hand.
just take a minute and
Just take a minute to think who's illegal.
Neither
Like-
one.
Is there a
That's
correct
like
answer?
Yes, there is.
Yes.
One is illegal, but you just have to choose based on like their looks or like.
That's the point. Oh, I like what you answered.
We're not allowed.
How can you tell? Because you never know.
Yeah. So that's like the whole point of it. Like you can't really tell whether like they're illegal or legal
Yeah.
based on their pictures.
So this is my friend Ulysses and Elias. They decided we can take their photo. Elias was illegal until recently. He got his citizenship, so now he's legal. Yay, him. Next slide. Now we have two photos of a black and white, and one of them is charged with manslaughter. I want you guys to think who's charged with manslaughter.
Go ahead and tell
Think
us the
about it.
answer. It's okay.
It's okay. If not,
Yeah.
He looks like he just
so based on society, who do you think, based on society and how society is played out through this generation, who do you think is charged with manslaughter?
What do you
Well,
think?
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
I mean, go ahead. Speak
Go
up.
ahead.
well, based on society, I feel like the one on the right was probably the one who was charged, but I'm not sure if he did it.
Is your right? No, on your right or my right?
My right.
It's like-
So the black.
Yeah.
Just say black. I don't know the difference between my left and right. So
That was right. I have to do that.
do you have
want
some?
to say something?
I was gonna say the same thing, that I think that the black was charged.
See, based on society, a lot of people say the black guy. But if you say white, you're using reverse psychology. In reality, in both sense, no matter if you pick the black and white, you're still doing racial profiling because you're judging them based on how they look instead of actually knowing their story. But the white dude was charged with manslaughter. You got it. So now, we have this video to show you. It's called What Would You Do? Have anyone watched that? You guys have?
Amazing.
I know. So, second tap. So in this video, I'm going to show, it's about racial profiling. Can someone kill the lights, please? And it will show you how, in a black situation, if you go to a high-class store, what will happen if you're dressed like, you know, in sweatpants and khakis and stuff like that. So please play the video.
Hello and welcome to What Would You Do? Although this time around, it's more like What Wouldn't You Do? From the outrageously hilarious to the incredibly moving. So let's get right to it. The scene's set, the actors in place, and the hidden cameras are rolling.
Another black shopper is accusing NYPD of racial profiling.
He was handcuffed by cops after using his debit card. Very embarrassing.
Felt very much humiliated.
It happens all too often. African Americans followed, questioned, even accused of stealing simply because of the color of their skin.
There are very few African American men in this country who have had the experience of being followed when they were shopping at a department store. That includes me.
Today, we're setting up at Sarar, an upscale suit and clothing store in the heart of Wall Street. Gabriel is an actor playing a customer profile while shopping for some clothes.
That belt is $150.
Thanks.
If you were shopping here and you heard this,
You're in the wrong store. We don't sell urban wear here. This is Wall Street. It isn't Harlem.
what would you do? Well, we bring along a $250 million shark, someone who knows a bit about fashion and what it's like to be profiled.
Hated it.
That's right, Damon John, founder of Fubu Clothing, investor, star of Shark Tank. He sits with me behind the scenes to watch this all unfold.
Hello there.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Is there something you're looking for?
Just checking out the jackets right now.
You know that's a $600 jacket, right?
Okay.
All right. Just want to let you know.
Right off the bat, our salesman makes things uncomfortable.
So we do have a lot of cameras throughout the store. I just want to make sure you're aware of that. I just want to make sure that it's not bothering anyone here.
Why do you keep me bothering
I just wanted to make sure. I want to make sure customers are.
Well,
I would rather be spending my time and attention with, ladies like you that are obviously able to afford, clothing in the store.
not able to afford have a job. She
But it's
doesn't
obvious.
even get school.
Come on.
And I'm a stay-at-home mom.
You have a Louis Vuitton bag. You guys have.
I mean, honestly, he probably
Barely.
has more money than we do. If he's looking at $600 jackets.
I highly doubt that.
Crystal Harrison is incredulous. And then our salesman makes it crystal clear.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, if somebody steals something, they're black, okay? I mean, that's pretty much how it goes. It's not racist, it's the facts, okay? It's not about racism. You guys watch the news, I mean...
He's not bothering us.
Okay.
You're more bothering us than
She said you're more bothering us than he is.
Aren't you being rude today? What if he's like a celebrity?
It struck me that you were laughing throughout it all.
Well, because I was so uncomfortable, so I had no idea what to do.
It was nervous laughter.
Yeah, I'm still really nervous.
We're at it again with Damon John riding shotgun. And what he sees doesn't surprise him.
I really don't think we have anything that's going to interest you, sir. We're very kind of a classic gentleman look.
I don't know what that means, but I'm just gonna look at the suit, okay? I got a credit card. I can pay for this.
You have a credit card.
I do have a credit card. When I see it, here it go.
We don't take stolen credit cards, sir.
Come on, man.
Sorry.
My credit card is stolen.
Not a word. Even when our salesperson gets security involved.
Gonna have to bet you down.
I don't believe this, man. This is messed up.
Sir, we need you to take your jacket off, okay?
Is this legal?
Yes, it's legal.
I didn't
have
do
to
anything.
protect
I'm
our
just looking at
merchandise.
the clothes.
We have to protect the merchandise in the store.
Gabriel is clearly not getting any help from our salesman. So he approaches this next woman for some advice.
Excuse me. Can I get your opinion? Does this look good?
Is he bothering you? I'm sorry.
Does it work with the hoodie?
But again, our salesman is right there, thinking and saying the worst of Gabriel.
Sir, can I just take a look inside that jacket?
Why?
I feel as though you may have put something in that jacket. Can you just pat him down and make sure that he doesn't have anything?
So far, no one seems to object to this embarrassing public pat-down. That is, until her husband, Raul Sequeira, takes a step forward.
I don't want to intrude or anything, but I live in Europe, so
Okay.
This would never happen in Europe. You can't profile on the basis of the looks of someone.
Wow.
No, I wasn't profiling. No, the thing is that how can anyone make any conclusions on the basis of color or looks and stuff like that?
I mean, 9 times out of 10, someone steals something, they look like him.
Raul is speechless.
Are you saying I was wrong?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But his wife, she's just getting started.
Because basically,
So I was making you uncomfortable.
he looks like he's someone that would steal from.
That's not because he's black. I'm crazy.
About
He's
the-
in Europe. I could steal.
Before she gives us any proof, it's time to introduce ourselves. You noticed right away, and you whispered to your husband.
I said I just want to leave.
right away.
Yes.
Yeah. She wasn't very far from slapping you.
Until now, Damon has just been watching our scenario unfold.
All right, Damon's gonna get ready for his next thing.
But what if he jumps right in?
All right.
Look.
With the help of a disguise, this multi-millionaire is about to be profiled himself.
I'm just gonna give me a second here to check in your jacket. What do you mean check my jacket? No, we need the security.
This next man notices, but he doesn't say a word.
What do you mean?
Well, now Damon, like Gabriel before him, is in the middle of the store, getting stopped, harassed, and frisked.
I'm pretty sure I saw you put something in your pocket.
I just stood right here. I just walked in.
Just give him a quick pat down and let's make sure that he didn't take anything, okay?
He could be worth the GDP of a small country, and still no one steps in. So we send our shark back into the tank one last time.
Sir, do you have any idea how much the store costs? I mean, things are very expensive here. I mean, it's a very high-end store. This is mostly Wall Street banker types.
Okay, I mean, I get it.
This next man just can't turn away.
Same people that look like you that come in and, you know, I mean, you're making people uncomfortable.
Why would you tell me that?
You're just not the type of customer that we have. Just look at him.
Yeah, but I've been lingering around, took a phone call. I mean, I don't usually get into people's business, but it's a judgment call you're making based on how someone looks. I've been lingering around even longer.
You know, you're dressed very nicely.
I think you're being totally inappropriate.
I'm sorry that you're feeling that way, but
I think it's apologies to him.
I think you should mind your own business.
No, I can respect that, but at the same time, when you see injustice taking place like you're doing right now, people have to step up.
You feel safe around a guy that looks like this?
I feel less safe based on your comments right now. I think the way you're engaging him makes me feel unsafe because it's filled with bias. I think it's filled with a lot of prejudgment, and I think you guys should engage him.
I think it's, what would you do? How you doing, my man?
Oh man, are you serious?
It's what would you do? You okay?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling a little hot here.
The fact that you're African American had something to do with it?
Of course, I've been subjected to discrimination.
You have?
Of course, it's hard to escape it in New York or anywhere. If I'm not dressed like this, if I have on my basketball cap and I walk into a store, it's the same kind of thing.
And you can be wrong about who that person is.
Absolutely. It could be me, the guy that's getting ready to hold up the store, dressed in dressed.
That guy could have a lot of money.
Absolutely.
You heard of Shark Tank?
Absolutely.
You know Damon John?
I thought that was David. I said this looks like this is who I said. Yeah. I thought so at first.
Man, pleasure to meet you, man.
I'm good.
You really represented good right there, man. You didn't take it at all. You just jumped right in.
In other words, don't judge a person by his or her cover, because you can so often be wrong.
Can someone please turn on the lights? Brightness. Now, my friend Lydia's gonna talk to you guys about this section.
Okay, so this is from the video, and we're gonna have discussions. So if everyone can sit in a circle.
They can everyone.
Like, come closer. Don't be scared. We're gonna fight each other. Well, I'm not
No.
There's chairs over here.
Can you like scoot it in?
Alright, so first question, what do you think about the video? What did you just watch? What the first thing come to your mind when you watch that video?
Well, I was kind of surprised, like, yeah, I was really surprised at how the shop person reacted, seeing someone like that, but yeah, I was just surprised, because I'm not like, I mean, I see that stuff that much. So I was just.
So this is a discussion. You just can talk with.
Yeah, just talk.
Yeah, it was really shocking to think that those things could happen, like in real life, not just actors. And it really also shocked me how many people did step in, because it kind of seems like it's not really something that people would want to get involved in.
Have you guys like seen this happen in person? Or really?
Where?
In the mall, in Gap,
What happened?
there was a black man who was looking through these ties and there's this woman that came up to him and asked him, like, what are you doing? Can you buy that? Yeah.
Do you guys remember in the beginning of the video when Barack Obama was talking about it and he was like, it happened to me before? Was that surprising to you guys?
Yes.
Why do you think it was surprising to some of you that said yes?
Because he's the president.
And
It's kind of shocking that someone that like certain people would like kind of look up to could have suffered from like being judged.
those people who said no, can you tell me why you said no?
Well, like a lot of the African Americans have been subjected to racial profiling and stuff like that. And like, I don't know much about Barack Obama's history, but he probably like didn't start off as some really rich person.
Do you think he was like being judged because he was poor or because he was black?
Because he's black.
Okay. So do you think if he was like a white poor person, he would be judged?
Oh, not.
So you think it's just normal when black people just.
I'm just like one comment.
I think it's like not that surprising that we have judged it, but it's not good that we are judging black people like that.
I saw your hand going up.
For me, it's not as surprising just because like I myself have been profiled, and like pretty much every other African American person in my family, we all talk about it all the time. And so I think like when it happens to you firsthand in your family firsthand, and like it's so normal for you, and so something that you have to kind of get used to and like fit into your lifestyle. This is probably going to happen to me. Have to be careful when I go into stores. Make sure I act extra kind and like smile a lot when I walk in, so they don't follow me around. And so that's just like for me personally, I guess I've had like firsthand experience with it, that it's more not as surprising.
Anymore?
I think that like there was a lot like because he's black American, but also like because like sometimes like if you go into a high class store and you're wearing like sweatpants or something, like if that was a white person, it's probably also confront them. So I definitely agree that like there was a lot of like racial, but also there was a lot of like slogan wise, and I think that
Like a company's image?
Yeah, I think that just like slightly contributed towards it.
So, how would you feel if you were in his position, the black guy's position, and like if you, like when you were shopping, if someone was like constantly like watching you and like walking behind you, like how would that make you feel?
Probably pretty like offended
Mhm.
that like someone thought that like I would steal something just because of my race and like how I look.
It was really interesting. Like a lot of times in my life, people just assume that I'm a nice person because of how I look. One time I walked into this store and I was with like a friend and my older brother, and because we're young people, they assumed that we were going to steal something, which I had never had anyone assume that about me before. And they just came up and were really mad and said, "You guys need to leave your backpacks behind this counter." And I just felt like, that's my backpack. Why are you taking it from me? Why are you assuming that about me? So I was just like really thrown off guard, and I can imagine like when this happens to someone on a daily basis, that can be really degrading and frustrating.
So connecting to that, so at my school, we across the street we have the 76, and there's a lot of students are going there and buy food and snacks. But one day I went there and they told me to take out my backpack. Like they think that like we would steal something from them. So it's like from now, everyone who go to that store, they have to take out their backpack or every purse they carry on. So that's not like I think it's not only for African people, but also they also focus on like everyone else. So like I'm Asian and I got judged by a lot of people before. At school, I got judged by how I look, and they just look at me. They told me to do their homework for them, and I asked why, and they said because I'm Asian. So that's pretty messed up, right?
I was actually one of the girls that did that to her.
That's what I did.
Yeah. Okay, when you were watching this, what made you like angry? Like, were you guys upset, or like how did it make you feel?
Well, when I saw someone not doing anything, it made me a little mad.
What about the guy who was like constantly checking?
Constantly checking on?
Yeah.
It was really shocking because I didn't think that someone would go that far as to be like literally right behind him, like seeing what they're doing.
I thought he was an actor.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But do you think like there are like real people that would do something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like out of all the things that he said, what like stood out to you?
It's like the statistics part.
Yeah,
The
and
nine
that the
out of
9 out
10.
of 10 robberies were by black people.
Yeah, and he also, I think, kept on telling him how much the things were costed and stuff.
I think also like it was really offensive that like he was constantly like, asking everyone else like, are you comfortable with this guy? Like they're not just so uncomfortable and like you have to ask like of course he's just saying and they're like but I think that was I understand why the first one was just like really uncomfortable.
Would you do something if you see something like that happen?
Like, would you step in?
Would you
Probably.
Will anyone step in? You would?
The only, like, I would, but I feel like it wouldn't really make any difference. Because, like, I'm a kid. I'm not really.
People tried to step in there and he didn't stop at all.
Sometimes a kid step in can make a difference. They're like, oh, even though you're just kids, but you know that's wrong. But yeah, adults and they don't know what is right.
I mean, the whole point of this conference for you is to step in. So if an adult step in, they'll be like, oh, they're just wasting their time, wasting some air. But if a kid step in, they'll be like, no, stop that, that's wrong. It would probably hit them deep because it's like, if a little kid knows this is wrong, why can't I know this is wrong? Get it in a sense? So, I hate going to the mall because I know I'll always be racial profile. So whenever I go to the mall, I always go to the mall with like people who look white or light skinned. So this is a true fact because I went to the mall with my sisters and then we went to like some store, I forgot what store it was, but then I had someone follow me the whole time because I thought I was going to steal something because I was in sweatpants and a sweatshirt because I hate going to the mall. I don't want to dress up. But then every time when I go to the mall with one of my friends, I never have experienced that because they were like, oh, they're white and this black person tagging along with them, so that person might not steal. So I just say, I'll just say forget the mall and I'll just go to like some cheap store and buy my stuff there. That's one of the reasons why I hate going to the mall.
But do you think it's fair? And you also said that it's normal for you, and like you have to do like the extra, like you have to smile when you walk in, so like they won't judge you. And like I mean, like a white person wouldn't have to do that. They can do whatever. They can like say whatever they want, and they won't be judged. Do you think it's fair for her and her like to go somewhere like where like he can just walk in and like they wouldn't even like say anything to him? Do you think it's fair?
But for her, she had to act like she's nice.
Yeah, and she said that it was normal for her and her family, and they just talk about it, and like it's like normal. They don't even like they're not even shocked by it. Yeah.
So this is the whole point of the discussion. So you just act like be you, like you don't have to scare of anything. Stand up for everyone that's doing something wrong.
So what do you need to do to stop it? Like what's your part?
Say something.
Not do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Stop it.
What would you do like what are your friends are doing? What would you do for the black guy like who was being racially profiled?
I thought I would just go up to him and be like, I'm sorry that this is happening. We should get this guy stopped.
Do you think that this mostly happened to black people, or do you think it happened to every color, like black, white, Mexican, no matter who you are, you're always racially profiled?
Well,
Yeah.
Definitely.
you're always profiled, but you're not always stopped in the store for constant attack items. Price reminders.
I remember I was at my school and there's these people who are visiting, and there were some black people who automatically assumed that we were a racist bunch of kids who just yeah were
Like, do you know
like
how,
everyone else.
how old do they look? Do they look like teenagers or like?
They were like teenagers.
And also like, I don't think it's just like black people can be like racist too sometimes, you know, like they might just assume like every white person that they see is racist, and a white person can be like, oh, every black person that they see might like steal. So do you think like maybe like the black people are doing it because they're so hurt and it happens to them like all the time, and they just assume that, you know, like everyone is like that, and like maybe the white person, like if they have a store, maybe like most of the people that, you know, like that happens to them is like that steals or something might be bad. So what do we need to do to stop that, like from like, you know, racially defining people? Like what would you need to do?
I think, well, for me personally, like working with or doing anti-oppression work for 2 years, like one thing we do is to define racism as, well, in the system that we're talking about right now, which is consumerism, or like, I guess in society, like racism, we say goes one way, which the people in power are white and the targets are everyone else. And what I think we're talking about is prejudice. Black people can have prejudice against white people, and white people can have prejudice against black people. But I feel like in this situation, we have to fix the system in order to change, because it's hard.
It's hard to change something that's set in stone, so by changing the people around us, we can change the system. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it's not just only these little occurrences that are happening. We have to address the root cause of it and fix it that way.
Does anyone know what racial discrimination is? No. Alright, so racial discrimination is where a race is being like down, is being put down or discriminated based on how they look. Like, for example, they'll be like, oh, all Asians are smart. Well, that's not technically discrimination because you're ethnic. But it's like saying all black people are stupid and end up gonna work in McDonald's. That's discrimination because you're putting a race down. So with that explanation, do you think racial profiling and racial discrimination are the same or different? Different?
Because it's what you said, like it's not technically discrimination, since the definition of discrimination is to put another person down, to say like, oh, all of these people are really smart, but it's still profiling, it's still wrong, but it's not discrimination.
Yeah.
Which one do you see most like happening? Discrimination or profiling?
I see profiling more than actual discrimination. But I might just be in the wrong places to see the discrimination.
I feel like a lot of times it's harder to see. I don't know, like in Seattle, I think it's more hidden. I definitely think that it's here, but it's more hidden. But like in places like New York, then it's much more visible. But I think for us, like even if we don't go shopping at fancy, expensive stores and see this happening in real time, I think it definitely plays out in our educational system with the school to prison pipeline, and like the discrimination still happens. It's just like within our own school systems. So I think in terms of what we can do, since we're all in school of some sort, then if we try and like stand up for people who are just right around us, then that can even do something.
Alright, so there's this act going on to ban racial profiling. So, did you ask me that? So, there's this act to ban racial profiling, and if you want it to be approved, you gotta call your House of Representatives and your Senate to get it approved. And so happily, we got the number to all our House and Representatives right over here. So if you have a phone, you can pull it out. You can give them a call and leave a message to them. Write a letter, fax them, an email. Let's see how you
Is it not already banned in Seattle?
No, it's not. It's not banned because since it's still happening, like the Ferguson, that was racial profiling and stuff like that. This is putting a little, yes?
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh. This is putting a little stone to concrete. So we can have it finalized and stuff. Oh, you fixed it.
Okay, just to clarify about the act, I know racial profiling and is kind of a more mental issue for people. So having that mindset that, oh, African American or oh, Latinos are more likely to steal than a white person per se. So how would this act aim to like change that mindset in people? Because that's not something that you can just say it's banned and it's done.
I mean, yeah, the mindset will still be in there, but you won't see. Well, it has to be like done really hidden, like how she said Seattle was like a hidden racial profile compared to New York, where you see it constantly. So if someone feel like they're being racial, if like a black person is going to the store and security guard following them, he can sue. That'll be breaking the law of racial profiling because you're assuming he's black and that's why you're following him. Like if you make your action visible, then it should be illegal. But if you're just thinking in your mind, because you have the freedom of speech, so you can't really do about what someone is thinking about, right?
Yeah, but also I think it's more like, you know how a lot of like our people are like Muslims, or like, you know, like if someone thinks they're like terrorists, like they can go to like jail or something. And I don't think that's right. And it doesn't just affect like black people, it also affects like a lot of like Muslims and stuff like that. And you read an article about.
Yeah, I read an article about this Islamic girl. She was supposedly, yeah.
Oh, once you can.
No, you can interrupt.
Well, what would happen though if the person was charged with racial profiling, the guy was following the black person, but he just said it was because of his clothes? What would happen then?
I mean, that's gonna have to go to it depends, if we get this law approved, the judicial system will decide the punishment for breaking that. So I don't know what the punishment is right now.
Would be wrong to judge someone based on how they dress.
Yeah, it's still wrong, but it's not racial profiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is I think what he's about.
I mean, if they have like a little sign on the outside of the door saying that you must dress this to enter, then yeah, you have a post, but you can't assume all your customers to come in dressed in a suit and tie without advertising it, am I right? Like, just like the dress code. The advertising saying that you're not allowed to, I don't know, like you're not allowed to wear spaghetti strap. It's been set to stone, right? Like everyone knows that. But if you come into school with spaghetti strap, of course you're gonna be in trouble. But if they never said that in the beginning and you just come in and whatever you like, they can't really punish you for that. Am I right? All right then. I think, wait. So now, if you got a telephone. Oh, so I read this article about this girl. She was racially profiled since she wore this thingy. And so supposedly this happened after 9/11, so all Muslims lost their rights, apparently because since they thought, oh my gosh, if one Muslim typed in Twin Tower, all Muslims are going to do it. So they thought she was gonna, they thought that she's gonna do a suicide bomb at the mall. When in reality, she didn't know that. She was just a sophomore in high school. And so then they arrested her, and then they kept her in prison for 2 years. And when she was out, she had an ankle bracelet for 3 years. And they arrested her dad, and she never saw her dad until like a week before he got sentenced to death, which was really sad. So this is why we need to ban racial profiling, so some people won't have the chance to experience that. Yeah. All right. If you have a telephone, please take that out. Call one of your representatives, or you can call this toll-free hotline. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna call them. They're gonna be like, they're gonna ask you, do you want to leave a message? You be like, yes. I want them to act upon racial profiling. I want that act to be set in stone. I want it to be legal. And then they be like, ask your name and address. So you just tell them your name, like Sandy Parking, address 1234 South 158th Street, New York City 98168. I don't know. And then boom, they will ask you, do you want to response back? You can say yes or no. But doing this, even one voice can help a nation. So don't be discouraged. Just take out a phone. Even if you don't have one, go home. Take your parents' phone, your mom, your dad, your sister, or steal a phone. I didn't advise you that. I'm kidding. Don't steal a phone. But thank you for coming. I really have fun talking to you guys. You guys were awesome. The door's over there. Please exit.
Actually, have 5 minutes, so.
Oh, we have 5 minutes?
It says on the screen.